So friends, we are in Knoxville. You see that says Visit Knoxville right there. And I am about to walk into WDVX 89.9 and be on the radio a little bit. So let's walk in here and take a look at what's going on. This is Knoxville. You see they're doing construction right here. And the radio station is at 301 South Gay Street inside the Visitor Center right here. And I have Lori with me. So I'm not scheduled to be on for a little while, but I want to go ahead and get her in here. Let's go get ready.
You got your stool.
How's your hair?
It looks fantastic because you did it. Yeah.
Do I need to hold this or will it open for me?
You better hold it. A very rare, unique, one-of-a-kind interview recorded on Ypsilanti Radio. Yeah, Ypsilanti, Michigan. Took me a while to learn to say that. We did a little tribute to Charlie Moore, and I hope you enjoyed it. And those were words from the only known Charlie Moore interview from about 1975 or so. Hey, this is Bradley Reeves. You're listening to the WDVX Clinch River Breakdown on East Tennessee's own 89.9 WDVX Clinton, streaming worldwide at WDVX.com in Knoxville at 102.9 in Seymour, 7 Islands at 93.9. You're listening to the last hour. We're going to do a little tribute to the king of rock and roll.
Sit right down and cry over.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Woo! That's Elvis Presley from the 1962 film Kid Galahad, one of my favorite tracks and kind of forgotten. Before that, we heard King Creole from 1958 in an original RCA Victor 78 RPM. I'm going to sit right down and cry over you. Probably about 1955 or so. Is that right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Close. Yes.
John Stansberry in the house. Let's give John a big hand, everybody. Yeah! All right. Hold on. That wasn't loud enough. Okay, you feel better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
They love you, kid. You're going places. Yeah, John, you might be the biggest Elvis fan that I've ever met in my life. You love the guy.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I mean, we grew up with his music.
Yeah.
There's no other music like it.
When did you first hear of Elvis?
About 1955.
That's right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Elvis, my brother and our first cousin, sitting on the road in a 55 Thunderbird, and Elvis Presley came on with Hound Dog.
Ooh.
And
some hard stuff.
It was great, and we had a good time just listening to stuff like that.
Wow. Do you remember the first time you heard the man's records?
That was it.
That was it?
That was the first time I ever heard it. Was in that car, on that car radio.
And you were a fan right then and there?
Yeah. Never stopped.
Well, tell me a little bit about your record collecting.
Oh my goodness. I've collected records ever since I was a kid, to be honest with you. I bought my first Elvis record, an album, at the Five and Dime store.
Here in Knoxville?
No, it's down in Sweetwater.
Uh-huh. You remember which record it was?
It was the Golden Hits record.
1958. All-time classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and it may be one of the, I haven't looked at it, but there were several of them brought out with the black label.
Yeah.
So I haven't really looked at it, but it may be one of the first.
Well, it's amazing to me, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but you actually, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The statute of limitations is over. You snuck a movie camera into not one, not two, but all three of Elvis's Knoxville concerts.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yeah. How'd you sneak it in? Was it in your wife's purse?
No, it was... Actually, I kind of just held it down to the side, and nobody ever asked me about what I was doing.
Little Super 8.
Yeah, it was a Super 8, and it was one of the nice Kodak cameras. and it was nice and thin. So I just held it at my side and walked right in. But now coming out, that was a different story.
Uh-oh.
They asked about it. But on one of the occasions, it wasn't with my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter. I put the film over in her pocketbook, and that was the time they checked me. And when they checked me, they said, "You got film in that camera?" And I said, "No,
No, sir.
there's no film in it."
Wasn't the Memphis Mafia, was it?
I don't know who it was, but they were checking.
Those guys.
But they were just checking on the way out. So when I told them there wasn't nothing, they opened it and looked at it. But
Well, you know what? I appreciate it. I can't believe you got your daughter in on this. Was that Melissa?
no, that was Melanie.
That was Melanie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Which concert?
I wasn't an accomplice. I was just there. Yeah, it was awesome. As a kid, I was a kid when I saw Elvis twice. And he would come out and you could just feel the momentum building because you knew something big was going to happen because, you know, the music came out before he did. And so when he actually come out on the stage, he would stand there just for a minute. He would let everybody look at him and they'd scream, holler. He would fan out his cape. He'd stand there, he'd bow, and then he'd turn around and he would show you the back of the cape. Everybody would scream some more. He would go to each end of the stage, do the same thing. And then he'd come back and, of course, you know, everybody's just all tore up. And he would start with C.C. Ryder. When I saw him, that's what he started with. And then it just all broke loose. But you never forget that. As a kid, that's forever in my mind. It's forever embedded.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I can see it right now. He had such charisma. And the excitement was so high that it was just awesome. I wish I could do it again.
You did it twice at least.
I did, at least.
74 and 77.
Yes, and at least my dad was such a fan, and my mom went, of course, and that's back in the day. You know, kids didn't really go to concerts. It was an adult thing.
Right.
So I was fortunate enough, me and my sister, to be able to go and see such a legend, you know, because he's gone. And you know, I wouldn't have gotten that chance if it wasn't for my dad being so good about Elvis.
But you know, back then, it cost a whole $10 to sing.
I still have the ticket. I've
Yeah,
got
we
two
got the
Elvis
tickets, but-
tickets, yes.
Yeah, $10. Can you imagine today going to see some of these people for $10?
No, it's not possible.
But I took the kids because I knew that they would be just like they are today. They still got it, you know,
Yeah.
in their memory.
It was cool.
I've tried to do that with my daughter. She's listened to Elvis since she was just a baby. And although she's almost 17 now, and she kind of pretends that she doesn't listen, when I put on the songs in the car, she knows all the lyrics. And I see her shaking.
So do we.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Yeah.
vacation we had to listen to Elvis all the way to the West Coast and all the way back.
You're a good man, John.
Yeah, but you know, my
Yeah.
room was full of Elvis posters because you would go out in the lobby and you would buy all the memorabilia.
Right.
So my room was covered in Elvis of all different kinds of things, and I still have that stuff somewhere.
I do too. I love it. And I'm glad that, you know, I was sort of raised to like Elvis and just love every bit of his different eras, different stages, from the rock and roll to the country to the blues to even the movie soundtracks. By the way, what's your all's favorite Elvis movie, John?
I like to be with Las Vegas.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Melissa?
Maybe Roustabout.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I love it.
Viva Las Vegas.
Okay, we got two for Viva.
What
How
about
about
you?
Jailhouse Rock?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. You like the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm a Jailhouse Rock guy.
Okay, we got two. Billy Stallings.
Follow that dream.
Oh, that's. Oh yeah.
King Creole.
King
Yes.
Creole. Yes, indeed.
And that was Elvis's favorite.
We just-
Well represented here.
Yeah, I think we got it all. Nobody voted for Charo. I don't know why. All right. That's all. We got one. Oh, wait a minute.
Who's the most? Who's the greatest? Who picks the hits? Who brings you the latest? Before a record really matters.
He lets you hear the very newest platters.
Who's the most? Who's the greatest? Who picks the hits? Who brings you the latest? You guessed it.
Todd Steed.
No.
Here's a toast to your host. He's the most.
Hey, Hey, Todd, thanks for dropping by the studio today.
Oh, I was drawn here like a magnet. I was driving around, had to go get some dog food for my dog. I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
And then I heard some Elvis 72, I believe.
72 in Knoxville, 72?
Yeah, and my car just came straight here. I couldn't stop it.
It's magic.
Yeah.
It is magic. Didn't that happen to Leroy Mercer once?
I'd say that's right.
I love you. Todd, thanks for dropping by, and for those of you that listen to WOT quite a bit, Todd is there and works with improvisations and a lot of other great folks. You're a program director, or?
Oh, thanks for the promotion.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell them when I get back in on Monday. Music director.
Music director.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
But it's close. It's close enough. I can see it from where I'm sitting.
Todd, do you remember when I was just a wee lad and you were the cool uncle? He's my uncle, by the way. If you
Oh, that's why you're always at those family things.
Right! I thought I was crashing it for the free fried chicken.
It always makes now it's making some sense.
Well, we always used to go back and forth on Elvis records and what have you, and I would sneak into your room and listen to your Elvis records while you were at high school. And
Good use of your time.
yeah, I know.
Bad use of mine.
Yeah. Why are these scratched up? What is your particular favorite Elvis track? Since we got the vinyl here.
Yeah, I mean that's such a difficult question, but because I was to make clear, I like every era, even way near the end. There was something really magnificent about the way he interpreted songs and the way he sang, and he was very entertaining, on a number of levels in a lot of different ways. And the King Creole soundtrack's one of my all-time favorites. That's one I probably listen to the most, but the one that just gets me is like maybe Blue Moon, maybe something like that. A lot of that Sun stuff is probably
Not Blue Moon, but Blue Moon of Kentucky.
Blue Moon of Kentucky.
Oh.
Yeah. No, yeah, he did Blue Moon as well.
Yeah.
But Blue Moon of Kentucky, to me, just the sound and the eeriness of and the vibe, it's perfect.
It is. It's out of this world, isn't it?
Yes.
Taking an old Bill Monroe bluegrass song and adding his own take to it.
Yeah, I'm sure people at the time were horrified or thrilled or disappointed, because a lot of people didn't like when he took a song and put the shake in it, put the eyebrows on it, put all the groove in it. But that stuff holds up. I mean, if you put that on today, and I think you're about to, it still would make my car come directly to wherever the source of the music is.
All right. Well, it's on the turntable now. Let's hear it. This is...
And thank you for playing this music, because it needs to be heard.
Right. Well, thank you. Y'all agree with that? Amen. All right. Here's the dawn of rock and roll, Blue Moon of Kentucky, recorded for Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee.
Tuned, won't you? We'd love to have you.
And we love having you, John Stansberry. Thank you very much. That's a great first Elvis record to have.
It was.
Yeah. DJ Fontana on drums.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, who we just lost, I think, a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the last man standing? Bill Black, Scotty Moore, Elvis, they're all gone. Yeah. But gosh, what a legacy. Great.
You remember when he had the TV special?
Elvis?
Yeah.
Which one? 68 comeback?
The 68 comeback.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that there was no drums in that? DJ Fontana played the back of his guitar case.
That's right. With a couple
Most
of,
people don't think of it or don't watch it real close, and they just think it's drums, but it's not. It's the back of a guitar case.
and that's what ended up on the record, the soundtrack
Right.
recording.
Right.
Yeah, you'd
Sure
never
did.
You'd never know it. Woo! Well, that stuff feels good now as it did 60 years ago. It's
Oh, yeah.
classic. It's feel-good music. It's rock and roll. It's country. It's all of it combined, and just an explosion. And really, we haven't seen anything as cool in a long time. It's just great stuff.
How can you sit still with music like that? I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
And the voice. There's very few people like him. He could do anything. The blues, jazz,
Yeah.
country, hillbilly,
He had that
whatever.
special baritone voice. It was just unique.
Yeah, like it's now or never.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And so who here in this room, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in this small studio here at WDVX. Who saw Elvis in 1972 at Stokely?
I did.
Okay, we got one. You weren't, no.
No, I was the next
74. Next to you. All right, I want to go back. A friend of mine snuck like you did, he snuck a audio recorder, a cassette recorder into Stokely and recorded Elvis Presley here in Knoxville. And as far as I know, these are the only recordings to turn up from that concert, which was filmed or supposedly filmed, for Elvis on Tour, the 1972 documentary. It was supposed to be, but there was equipment malfunctions. However, the picture that I posted on Facebook today, you can see somebody with a movie camera filming. So somewhere, there's footage out there. I'd love to see it.
I've seen that footage.
Have you?
Yeah, in fact, I may have that footage.
Elvis on Tour?
Yeah, I don't think you've seen it yet.
No, I don't think I have.
But it's, if I remember correctly, in the way things were that night, it's, you know, he wore the blue jumpsuit,
Right? Yeah.
and I've got some film of that.
You do.
Let's talk after the show. Love to see that. Let's go back to 1972. I think Elvis was in town for the Dogwood Arts Festival here in Knoxville, and got off the plane. You can see Mayor Kyle Testerman's wife, Mrs. Testerman, Janet, I believe was her name, greeting him. And it's a great concert. Now bear with me, the sound isn't great, but it's all we've got. Let's go back to a little bit of Knoxville history, a little Elvis Presley history with some sound bites. Oh, yeah. I think the guy that had this was like in the first 5 rows. Doesn't sound great, but it is what it is. All right, Maple Hall. Never going.
That 3 Dog Night had that out.
Was it 3 Dog? Yeah, right. Old Hoyt Axton tune. John Stansberry is our guest in the studio. John and family. John, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out and doing some Elvis with us today.
Good to be here. I'm glad you invited us.
Oh man, let me tell you, those movies that you filmed, the 3 Super 8 home movies, are fascinating. They're fascinating because they exist. They're fascinating to see in 1972 Elvis in his prime, kicking butt and really rocking the place. 74, he looks even better in my opinion. The suit is cool. You were there, Melissa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're lucky.
He was a doll.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I've been told. And even 77. What was that? May of 1977.
I think it was May.
He passed away when?
In August.
Of that year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About
He
3
was
months
heavy.
before.
He was heavy then, I remember.
Yeah.
So quite a difference between 74 and 77. Just a matter of a few short years.
Do you remember what you said to me when I first showed you the films?
I
You
was
said-
I able to talk? That's been a holy grail for years. Elvis and Knoxville.
Well, you were looking at them and you went, boy, look at the color.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, the color.
Beautiful. They're silent movies. They're Kodachrome color, and they're little 50-foot reels. But boy, they are really something good. You know, you did a TV spot for WVLT Channel 8 here in Knoxville, and you can still find it online. If you want to see clips from these home movies that John made back in the 1970s, there's a piece, and I recommend it. Go to, just Google WVLT Elvis in Knoxville, and you'll see some amazing home movies that John Stansberry shot back in the 1970s. And you'll see John himself. You're a pretty good interviewer, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's you still go to Graceland a lot?
We went last year.
Yeah.
I'm not able to travel like I used to, but I recommend anybody, if you're going through Memphis, go over and stay at the hotel.
It's great.
What they named the hotel?
Guest house at Graceland.
The guest house.
Yeah, the guest house.
That's
I
where
couldn't
we
think
stayed.
of it right off.
Now, Guest House at Graceland, by the way, that's Billy Stallings, also in the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I didn't know if I could interject, but
Please! No, I'd like to bring you on. This guy, I can't believe he's in the studio with me because I've been like watching his YouTube channel and your videos, and I know who you are, and I've been fascinating, and some of the Elvis sites that I'm on also share your work.
yes, sir.
And you're doing great work, capturing the history of Elvis Presley, the obscure history, the people that normally don't get heard of, and the places, the locations. How did you get into this?
You know, I don't know the answer to that question. I've been filming Elvis stuff for 30 years, but 30 years ago, the quality of a camera was not very good. So
VHS.
VHS. So I had it. I filmed it for myself, but I had nobody to show it to. There was no YouTube. Later years, because of my business, I'm known as the Spa Guy. That's the name of my business. And
How do they find your videos?
if they punch Spa Guy, go to YouTube, put in Spa Guy and Elvis, and you'll pull up. I have 168 Elvis videos on there that I've done.
Yeah.
And some of it is very obscure history and things. I try to go back and reenact or relive historic things that happened. My favorite thing that I ever did was Scotty and I were in business together for a period of time. I sold autographed pictures and books and that kind of thing. And he told me a story about when he met Elvis, that Sam and Marion and him were at Taylor's Cafe next door to Memphis Recording Studio on a Saturday. It was actually July the 3rd, 1954. They were talking about different things, and Sam asked if he would be interested in interviewing Elvis, more or less letting him try out. And he said yes. So he called Elvis on Saturday afternoon, had him come to his house on July the 4th, 1954 at 12 o'clock at noon. So it always fascinated me, where did that happen at? So I actually found the address. The reason people were having trouble finding it was because the name of the street changed, and had been changed for about 50 years. So we would look back through archives, went to the archives, looked through phone books, and finally figured out where it was. I went to the street, which is a bad neighborhood. I don't recommend that you go. It'd be safer to watch the video.
Yeah.
And knocked on the door and said, "Hey, do you know what happened in your house?" And they said, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." It's people that rented the house. And they were nice enough to let me go in and film inside and tell the story. That's the place that Elvis and Scotty and Bill met the very first time, which was on a Sunday afternoon, July the 4th, 1954. On Monday night, July the 5th, 1954, they recorded That's All Right Mama, the version that you hear right now. It's the first time they ever played together.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I love that kind of history. So I was able to go back and find the actual apartment that happened in and tell that story.